Hello and welcome to One Man Renegade Productions YouTube channel. I'm your host, the Honorable Greg B, and today is Saturday, and it is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, which has become the traditional Survivor Series day. I don't know. No, didn't always used to be. Survivor Series bounced around. Originally, it was on Thanksgiving. Then it was the night before Thanksgiving. Then it was always the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And then it kind of bounced around to different times, but it's now settled on the Saturday after Thanksgiving for the last number of years. And War Games has kind of taken over Survivor Series, so we'll be talking about that as we open up this 2022 Panini Prizm WWE Blaster Box. But if you missed any previous wrestling-related videos, head up there. There's a big old massive playlist with all the wrestling-related videos you could ever want. But if you are looking for something specific, certain league or product or year or whatever, might be easier to go search channel page and find it over there. And while you're over there checking out all the amazing videos I've done over the years, or you're right here and just haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, also give a thumbs up, like the video, hit that share button, share this with everyone you know. And down in the comments, tell me who you think's going to win all of the matches tonight. There's not a lot of matches, so it shouldn't take you very long to list out your winners. I mean, you know, the WWE has gone like very minimal on these in terms of matches on these PLEs, but you know, only 4 scheduled as of right now for this one. I talked about this last week with AEW. They have too many. WWE is too little. Kind of got to meet in the middle somehow, which I think is where TNA actually is. Generally, they have 8 or 9. 8 or 9 is like I think the best. But anyways, we'll discuss those. And also, I'll check out all the links and information in the description for all my other internet things and social media and stuff like that. Yeah, so only 4 matches, like I said. So like last week, I think, between the pre-show and the actual show, TNA, I think was, or NXT, I think. Not NXT, TNA. What? AEW. Yeah, TNA and NXT are both next week. We'll talk about those next week, as is Ring of Honor. Big wrestling weekend actually next week. And then the weekend after that, we of course have John Cena's final match on Saturday Night's Main Event. But last week for AEW, I think they had 13 matches or 14 matches, 13 or 14 matches, which, you know, I know some of them was on the pre-show, but still a lot of matches. Whereas WWE, they have 4 scheduled, none on the pre-show. I think 1 on the pre-show and like 8 on the main show is probably the way to go, which is what TNA has typically been doing recently, which is more old school WWE and WCW, kind of, and maybe ECW. I don't really remember exactly. I feel like it differed on each card, but in any event, we got Roman Reigns and Becky Lynch, who are both in the War Games matches tonight. Anyone else on there? No, just those 2. So what are we looking for here? We're looking for Blaster exclusive green Pulsar Prisms, the iconic silver Prisms, and we're looking for retail exclusive autograph parallels. There's all the stuff we can find. There's a bunch of numbered stuff. There's a bunch of inserts and stuff. I don't think there's any like case hits necessarily or anything like that, but hopefully find some cool stuff. Hopefully find some people that are wrestling tonight, and we can talk about those matches as we go. All right, let's get into it. Of course, we got Naomi starting things off. She's still out, going to be giving birth soonish. I'm not quite sure what the timeline was for that, but she's out, pregnant. She'll be back at some point down the line. Got Mick Foley. I'm trying to think, was Mick Foley ever in any War Games matches? I think he was. Maybe not. I was thinking maybe he was in 92 or 93. Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. You'd have to let me know. I could look it up, but I'm. We got Happy Corbin, no longer with WWE. Not quite sure what he's doing these days. Probably just doing indies or something. Tommaso Ciampa on the gold parallel there. Of course, Tommaso Ciampa on SmackDown. I think he was going to be... I don't know for sure. I know was trying to challenge Ilya Dragunov for the U.S. title, but Ilya Dragunov's up saying no and giving his shot to other people, but maybe he got it last night on SmackDown. So I'm recording this before SmackDown, but I know SmackDown already was recorded, but I didn't look at any spoilers. So I don't know for sure, but I think eventually they're headed towards a Dragunov Ciampa match. Got Julius Creed, of course, part of the Creed brothers, who I haven't noticed on TV anytime recently, but hey, T-Bar, yeah, he's no longer with the company. We got Kaylee Ray, or Alba Fire, as she is now. Of course, she's part of the Secret Harvest, which, interestingly, they kind of dropped that whole thing. Piper Nevin got injured, and then Chelsea Green and Alba Fire were kind of looking for a new person to take her place, and it kind of went nowhere. And then Chelsea Green won the U.S. title back. So I don't know, but Julia wants a rematch, so we'll see what happens with that. Gigi Dolan on the silver, but she is no longer with WWE. I think she is back on the indies being... what was her indie name? I can't remember. Someone in the comments will know if they care. Yeah, what was her name on the... Priscilla... something Priscilla, I think. I can't remember. Commander Aziz, no longer with the company. Of course, Edge, he's no longer with the company either. Over in AEW, although he hasn't been in AEW in a bit because he's been filming stuff. I don't know. Tyler Bate, I don't know where Tyler Bate is, but some guys showed up. The Americanos, which names I forget. But the one of them's like, I can't remember their names, but he's part of that. They got Brock Lesnar. Of course, he'll be in the War Games match as well, along with Roman Reigns that we've been showing here. He's the opposite teams, of course, but we'll talk about that momentarily. All right, let's talk about it now. We've got the War Games men's War Games match. We got CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, the Usos, and Roman Reigns taking on Brock Lesnar, the Vision, which I guess now consists of Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker, but it's a little questionable if Logan Paul's technically in it or not. He's kind of took over Seth Rollins' spot because Seth Rollins got injured. I don't know if that means he's officially in the Vision, but whatever. And of course, Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. I didn't mention Drew McIntyre as well. Paul Heyman, of course, will be in their corner. I mean, it's pretty easy just to say the faces are going to win. I mean, but it would be more interesting probably if the heels won this. So I kind of am leaning towards the heels winning and kind of being infighting between Roman and CM Punk and Cody, because there was a lot of that on Raw this week. They were like, who's really the leader of this? And Roman's like, hey, you two figure it out. You guys are the champs. Although I'd look better with the title. Which one are you talking to? And the Usos are like, hey, we're the Usos. We're going to Uso. So you guys figure it out. So I don't know. We'll see. But if I do have to make a prediction, I'll say the heels are going to win. The Vision, Brock, and Logan, and Drew. All right, next pack. We got Green coming up. We got Aaliyah. She's no longer with the company. Kishi, speaking of the Usos, that's their dad. I don't think he was ever in a War Games match. He was in Armageddon Hell in a Cell. Fell off the roof onto like a truck thing. I remember that, but not quite the same. Got Otis. Otis hasn't really been doing much on TV recently. I don't know what is going on with Otis, but yeah, hasn't really been doing too much recently. And then we got Walter. Of course, Gunther, as he's known now. Although he does have his Walter music back on the green prism there. Of course, he is heavily involved and probably the favorite, I think, to win the last time is now tournament and fight John Cena in his final match. I mean, he already got Goldberg's final match earlier in the year in Saturday Night's Main Event, so it'd be fitting that he gets John Cena's, I guess, as well. All right, keep it going. We got Io Shirai, Io Sky, as she, of course, is now known. Of course, she will be in the War Games match. I guess let's just get into it. The women's War Game match, we've got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee taking on Nia Jax, Legend, Kabuki Warriors, and Becky Lynch. I mean, this one, I feel like the faces just got to win this. So Rhea, Io, Rio, whatever. Rhea, Io, Alba. What is going on? I can't read. Rhea, Io. I can't just talk either. Rhea, Io, Alexa, Charlotte. No, don't do it. Now my thing's going off. This is just a mess. And AJ Lee, I think are gonna win that. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they'll do one heels and one face, but I feel like I say that every year, and every year it's the face teams always win. But I do think in this case, I think the faces are going to win this. So we got it. Oh wow! What? If the next card is Alexa Bliss or Charlotte Flair, we got something weird going on here. It is the Undertaker, so no, not quite. Again, I don't think the Undertaker was ever in a War Games match. I mean, War Games wasn't around for a long time. And it was in WCW, and then when WCW went away, it went away up until they started doing it in NXT a number of years ago. But yeah, like there was a whole generation of people that weren't in War Games, which was kind of why I thought John Cena was going to end up in this War Games match. Just, get him in a War Games match. But and there's Roman Reigns, so he's involved tonight, obviously. We already talked about that. But yeah, John Cena will have a match tonight. His final PLE match, since his last match will be on a Saturday's main event. Although at this point, Saturday's main events are just on Peacock, so it's kind of like it's a PLE anyways. So like I don't know. But anyways, well, let's finish up this last pack and then we'll talk about the final two matches. Dave Mastiff no longer with the company. Randy Orton, don't really know where he is. There was some speculation, and it could have happened. Again, I don't know. I didn't check out spoilers. Because Sheamus was injured and was going to have to be replaced in the Last Time Is Now tournament, fighting LA Knight, who already fought a mystery opponent last week, or 2 weeks ago, in Matt Cardona, but it's going to have to fight another mystery opponent. There's a lot of speculation that what is Randy Orton. Again, didn't look at spoilers, so I have no idea, but by the time you're watching this, it would have already happened would have aired last night anyways, so you would know. So I don't know, but there we go. Raquel Gonzalez Rodriguez as now. And of course, we got Sasha Banks, who no longer with the company. She is got a whole bunch of belts, but can't get the big belt in AEW. But our other two matches we got, I talked about John Cena. Of course, he's having his final PLE match. He's the Intercontinental Champion, and he is giving a rematch to the former champ, Dominic Mysterio. Part of me says, well, he's leaving. And if he's going to fight Gunther, does Gunther really need the Intercontinental Championship? Because you got to figure Gunther, if that ends up being the match, would beat John Cena in his last match, as he did Goldberg. But, like, does he need the Intercontinental Championship? Or do you somehow get it back on Dominic Mysterio? But at the same time, I just can't see John Cena losing to Dominic Mysterio in one of his last matches. Although, it is Dominic's hometown of San Diego. Although it's Rey Mysterio's hometown of San Diego, and I could see Rey getting involved because obviously the Judgment Day is going to get involved. I don't know. A lot of things go, but I think John Cena's going to ultimately win that match. And then finally, we got Stephanie Vaquer defending her Women's World Championship against Nikki Bella. Of course, Nikki Bella came in, was kind of friends with her, even though she said her name wrong initially. And it was kind of like, why did she say her name wrong? But now she's friends with her. That's kind of weird. And then it was like, I remember just watching the match. It was Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez, I believe, for the title. And Nikki Bella was out there in her corner. Or maybe it was Roxanne Perez. Either way, Nikki was out there in the corner. And I'm just thinking to myself, why are they friends? When is she going to... She's going to turn on her, right? And then 2 seconds later, she turns on her. After the match, though, after she retained. And of course set up the match for her. But I do think Stephanie Vaquer is going to retain. So there we go. And it's only 4 matches. That's it. That's all we got for Survivor Series. I mean, there was a actual Survivor Series match that they had, but it was on SmackDown for some reason. Again, that happened last night. I haven't watched it because I'm recording this before that, but it already happened because they recorded it last week. So I didn't look up spoilers, but yeah, kind of weird that they were doing the Survivor Series match just on SmackDown. They should have had that on Survivor Series. I don't know why they didn't. Kind of annoying. But anyways, yeah, so that's going to do it. Hopefully it's a good show coming your way from San Diego, Petco Park. So check it out. Hopefully y'all had a nice Thanksgiving if you celebrate. If you're in the United States and celebrating. If you didn't, hope you had a nice Thursday and Friday. Black Friday, go out and get anything? Did you... Do people do that anymore? Like, all the deals are online like 3 weeks ahead of time at this point. So it's like, I don't know if the point of Black Friday is at this point, but maybe there are even better deals if you go to the store. I don't know. But anyways, that's going to do it. Thank you everyone for watching. Come back next week we'll have a little preview for NXT. Although there's also TNA and there's Ring of Honor, and there's a whole lot of wrestling going on next week, but we'll do a preview for TNA or NXT Deadline, I should say. And then we got the week after that, we had John Cena and Saturday's Main Event. So just hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification, get a notification every time videos up. When you watch, come over, watch, like, and share, comment, and all that fun stuff. Keyword this one, just having fun here on the channel, opening some wrestling cards, talking about wrestling and all the action coming your way. So thank you everyone for watching. Stay safe, have fun. Talk to you next time. Bye.